Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what recent reports has she seen on the economy?
The Honourable Nicola Willis.
Mr. Speaker, I saw an interesting report from Westpak recently comparing the economic outlooks of New Zealand and Australia. A bit of healthy rivalry is a feature of the trans-Tasman relationship. So I was pleased to see Westpak, which operates on both sides of the ditch, saying that economic growth in New Zealand is set to outpace Australia over the next few years. Westpak is forecasting annual GDP growth in New Zealand to accelerate to 2.4% by the end of the year and 3.1% by the end of 2026. That is higher growth than the bank is forecasting for Australia. And when Westpak looks at per capita, that is per person growth, the difference between the two countries is even greater.
Supplementary. What is supporting this growth in the New Zealand economy?
Mr. Speaker, consistent with other forecasters, Westpak says that growth in New Zealand will be underpinned by reductions in the official cash rate transmitting through the economy. A lower OCR leads to lower interest rates for households and businesses who respond by spending and investing more. Westpak also points out that increases in New Zealand's commodity export prices will boost incomes and spending. Thank you, farmers. It says that international demand for hard commodities, which Australia exports, is easing, while global demand for dairy and other food products, which New Zealand exports, remains firm.
How are interest rate reductions flowing through the economy?
Mr. Speaker, the Reserve Bank has reduced the OCR by 250 basis points over the past year, taking it down to 3% so far, and markets are pricing in 2 more reductions. Westpak makes the point that around 90% of mortgage lending in New Zealand is on fixed rates, compared to only around 10 to 15% of Australian mortgage lending. That means that interest rate changes take around 12 to 24 months to pass through the New Zealand economy. The transmission of lower interest rates is therefore still underway, with rate reductions only having begun a year ago. 45% of mortgage lending is either floating or is due to be repriced within the next 6 months, which is good news for those coming on to lower interest rates.
What is the outlook for New Zealand exports?
Well, Mr. Speaker, the global outlook suggests that demand for New Zealand exports will remain high despite tariffs. Strength in global commodity prices, particularly dairy and meat prices, is supporting farm incomes and rural confidence. The ANZ Commodity Price Index and world prices rose again in August and is 9.3% higher than it was a year ago. Recent data shows that New Zealand's goods terms of trade, that is the prices we get for our exports relative to the prices we pay for imports, is at a record high in a series that goes all the way back to the 1950s. So New Zealand's purchasing power in the world has risen, and that is good news for our households and businesses.